Hello, everyone. I am excited to be going live tonight. We are talking about 5 positive and effective classroom management strategies. For those who are new, I'm excited that you are here. Welcome. I want to know what grade level you are representing. As far as do you work with elementary, middle school, or high school? Give me an ES in the chat if you work with elementary. Give me an MS if you work with middle school. And give me an HS if you primarily work with high school. If you are new here, I want to take time, of course, to introduce myself. My name is Tyranny, also known as Miss Tyranny. I specifically help K-12 teachers who are serving in Title I schools manage their class. By day, I work as an assistant principal at a high school campus. And I'm excited that you are here and tuned in for tonight's live. So again, I want to share with you tonight's topic is 5 positive and effective classroom management strategies. So let's go ahead and jump right in without any further delay. So I received on one of my TikTok videos a question. And that question was, can you make a TikTok on more positive and effective behavior management strategies? I start teaching full time soon. And honestly, initially, when I read that comment, it had me laughing a little bit. There's this show on MTV that used to come on called Punked by Ashton Kutcher, where celebrities would get punked. And even though I'm not a celebrity, when I read the comments, I thought I was getting punked because I have well over 500 plus videos on TikTok alone. I have my YouTube channel that I've had for over 8 years now. I have Instagram Reels that I post every single week. I have a free 5 video mini course. I send out multiple emails to my email newsletter every single week. And so all of those things are one price, free 99. So I have this whole library of content, yet this person asked me if I could share more positive and effective behavior management strategies. So that told me that this person likely does not know of all the many resources that I have, or potentially have not made the time to go through them, because I have addressed several positive and effective behavior management strategies. However, you know how the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So, considering that I have all those resources available, I wanted to pause and take time for those who maybe have not explored those resources that I have available to answer the question on what are some positive and effective behavior management strategies. So, what I have done is I have put together my top list of 5 timeless strategies that you can take with you, that you can implement with you, that everyone should have in their classroom, regardless of what they teach from K all the way to 12th grade. These are critical foundational things that you should have inside of your classroom in order to create a strong classroom culture and to effectively manage your class. So, with that, we are going to go through each one of these and make sure that you stay to the end if you have any particular questions, because I answer all questions at the very end of the live. So if you are here and you are ready to get started, then go ahead and tap on the screen. Hello, Evie. Hello, Gretchen. Hello, Lovely. Hi, Veronica. Hello, Christine Jones. Hello, Geneva Black. Hi, Molly. Hello, Kevin. Many of you are here. Amber, Victoria, Jacqueline. Hello to all of you. So the first one is clear expectations and rules. Do your students know how you expect for them to behave in your classroom? Do they know what you expect of them in general for their student conduct and behavior? The reason for this being so critical and important is because students you can never assume that your students know anything. So we must always think about our part as the teacher in making sure that we are being very clear and specific with everything that we want students to do. We cannot punish a student for something that they do not know. That is our responsibility to teach it to them. So that's the first thing. Okay. So clear expectations and rules. So make sure that that is something that you have and that you are making sure you've done your part. Once you can do your part, then your students can do theirs. Okay? All right. For number 2, the second thing is accountability system and a celebration system. So, in order to reinforce our expectations and rules, we must have very clear accountability system and also a very clear celebration system. You do not have to break your bank in order to affirm students and provide them celebration. Something that can be done is something as simple as public positive praise. So, I used to do this all the time when I was a teacher because one of my favorite classroom management strategies was something called positive narration or behavior narration. So, even if you are somebody that has to work at a school that is very heavily reliant on tangible rewards for students and tokens, and they believe strongly in PBIS, I still firmly believe that consequences and accountability for students are very necessary. Students have to understand that there is a consequence associated with every life decision and choice that they make at your school and also outside of your school. So that's something that's super critical. I want to also pause here on this part to let you know that when it comes to accountability that you are implementing on your campus or in your particular classroom, um, the moment that you choose to outsource consequences to your admin, to another adult, to even the student's family, is the unfortunate moment that you have released control and allow for that other adult to handle things in the way that they see fit. So, if you are really somebody who cares deeply about students getting a specific type of consequence that you want issued, then you need to be the one to issue it because you have no control and no delegation over what another adult chooses to implement or not implement as it pertains to consequences in the classroom. Okay? Because the number one thing that I hear, especially as someone being an administrator, but someone who's also been on the teacher side, we feel as though our admin do not give consequences in the way that we would hope and desire for consequences to be applied. And you have to understand the moment you outsource consequences to someone else because you chose not to handle it within the four walls of your classroom is the moment that you literally gave permission for that adult to handle things in the way they see fit because it's no longer in your hands now because you had to outsource it. So be very careful with that and make sure that, again, you have your own process and your own way of issuing consequences within the four walls of your classroom if you want things done a certain way. Otherwise, you can't eat your cake and you can't have your cake and eat it too. Make a decision. Either you're going to give the consequence or you're going to outsource it for someone else to give the consequence, how light or severe that they deem fit. All right. So, with that said, the third one that I'm going to talk to you about is clear and specific instructions. Okay. When telling a student what to do, you need to give clear and specific instructions and then check for understanding afterwards. So, I like to use and share with other teachers a very simple formula that I did not make up, but it's something that I learned when I was first starting out in the classroom several years ago. It's called MVP. M stands for movement, V stands for verbal, and P stands for participation. So, when you are giving your instructions to students, you want to use MVP directions. I also would couple this with telling students when to begin on executing my instructions. So, simply, I might give a little signaling word, such as when I say go. When I say go, bop, bop, bop. So, for more about this strategy, you can also visit my YouTube channel. I talk about it in depth, along with the other two positive and effective classroom management strategies that I've shared so far tonight. So I'm giving you more of an overview, but I have videos on my YouTube channel where I deep dive into all of these that have been on my channel for years. Okay, the fourth thing is procedures and routines. Okay, I'm a creature of habit, and so are your students. I can guarantee that. All students love structure. Again, all students love structure. Of course, they're not going to come right out and tell you that, but all students love structure. Deep down, they love and appreciate structure, and your daily procedures and routines help to make that a reality for them. They appreciate the fact that with your solid procedures and routines that they can feel safe in your classroom because they know that you will not tolerate anything differently, that you have certain expectations that are going to be upheld and that you expect for them to adhere to. So, when you are implementing procedures and routines in your classroom, it really helps your students when you're following that same schedule every day. So, throw in a brain break if you must to add some joy factor into the mix. But for the most part, you really want to keep things consistent in your classroom. Go to the restroom as a class the same every day. Make sure you pass papers in the same every day. Get your students' attention the same every day. Transition from one activity to the next the same every day. Come into your classroom and exit your classroom the same way every day. Line up the same way every day. It'll become a habit, and your classroom will eventually run itself on autopilot because you've set the conditions for that to be true. This is also especially helpful whenever you're gone and you have a substitute or someone else has to step into your classroom. It is very evident if you have strong procedures and routines or not. In fact, and I said earlier, right now I serve as an assistant principal. There's been times where we've been short on substitutes, and guess what? I have chosen to volunteer to cover a class myself. So I have been in some classrooms where I can see evidence that that teacher does not have any procedures and routines, and I can see evidence when the teacher does because the students know exactly what to do when they enter the room, exactly what to do in order to leave the room, and they know the expectations set for them. So, the fifth and final one that I'm going to share with you for our positive and effective classroom management strategies is relationship building, building relationships, but I like to take it to the way of building trust and rapport with your students. Okay. So when you're a no nonsense nurturer type of teacher, that's the type of teacher that I was. When you're a no nonsense nurturer, you have a very strict and structured classroom, but it's very important that you also show students that you care about them. So it's a nice balance between being that, as Zaretta Hammond says, a warm demander. So I promise you, when you show students just a little taste of who you are without your teacher hat on, then they can start to form those connections with you, build that trust and rapport with you that will truly motivate them to meet your high behavioral expectations. I shared a lot more on how I specifically have built relationships with students in the form of creating trust and building rapport with them in a video on my YouTube channel. Specifically, the video talks about how to build relationships with students in seven simple ways. So if you're already using one way, that video might can help you generate new ways that you can potentially build rapport and relationships with students and their families. So with that said, I told you that once we got to the end, I would open it up for Q&A. I have now shared with you all of the 5 positive and effective classroom management strategies. Every single one that I shared with you has a longer YouTube video that is already on my channel that you can visit, that you can watch, that you can engage with and learn more. If you know that you are someone who needs help with any of those things that I mentioned to you, and you know that you want to specifically improve your classroom management and culture, then I invite for you to click the link in my bio, or if you're on YouTube, click the link in the description box and learn more about one-to-one private classroom management coaching with me. And if it's a fit, you can apply to work with me. So with that said, while you are looking in my bio, clicking on that link, learning more about coaching, I'm opening it up for Q&A. What particular questions do you have for me about positive and effective classroom management strategies? Or what questions do you have in general that I can answer for you? I'm going to be here potentially for the next 10 minutes, but if there are no questions, then I will wrap it up early. Hello, Christine. Hello, Marisol. Hello, Jennifer. What questions do y'all have for me? Also, I want to say that while you are here, if you haven't, go ahead and click follow. I post videos every single week on my TikTok, multiple videos every single week. And in addition to that, I also go live every single Thursday. So by following me, you can catch all of my new content and also be notified when I'm going live. I also send out emails every single week to my email newsletter. The focus of my email newsletter is teaching you how to go beyond bribery. So I send a weekly email series to K-12 teachers in Title I schools where I do not sugarcoat anything. I just give you straight talking tough love because we cut the fluff and we go beyond rewards and relationships and get real about classroom management and culture. And in every email, I help you to challenge the status quo, question norms, and build a classroom where joy, simplicity, and equity thrive. You deserve it, and so do your students. So that is something you can also find the link to in my bio on all of my social media platforms. Hello, Mercy. Hello, Haley. Hello, Lisa. What questions do y'all have for me about classroom management and culture or about the topic that I just discussed on tonight's live? This is your opportunity to ask any questions you might have. While you're here, I would also like to know, are you elementary, middle school, or high school? Which group of students do you support? Hello, Chandler. Hello, Angie. Hello, Crystal. Hi, Christine. Hello, for those tuning in on YouTube as well. Please let me know what questions do you have for me. I'm happy to answer them for you. I am so excited that tomorrow is Friday. This has been a very interesting week. Hello, Jackie. Okay, well, I do not see that there are any particular questions that you all are having. So, with that, I am going to go ahead and wrap up tonight's live. And join me right here next week, same time and place. Resources are in my bio if you are interested in private one to one coaching or if you want to receive my weekly emails. Thank you so much. Take care and enjoy